Hi, Bronze Age artist Ken Landgraf here, and I'm going to be recreating my famous Thor album cover called Electric Eyes. So what I've done here is I've drawn it, and I've stretched out the figures to make it more exciting. Like I gave Thor feet, boots. On the album cover, they cut off his feet here, and a girl's arms, so I added in her arms, the rest of her body. And I'm going to be inking on this now. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at what I did up here, and I'm going to transfer it here in my own style again. We got the deltoid muscle. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. And we got the arm here. Just put in very clean lines. And this drawing is going to be sent to Berlin for a heavy metal art show. So I'm honored to have this in the show for a curator. His name is Andreas. Putting in the famous Ken Landgraf inking style. Outlining. And then rendering. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 lines. And I have this all painted in. What I did was I put an outline down and I colored in flesh tones, leaving white spaces and then using a red and brown mixed together to create more form. Here we go on his chest. And I was honored to do this album cover because John Michael Thor himself contacted me. He said, I'm doing an album on Cleopatra Records. Can you do the cover? And I had been working for him since the 1970s. Thor was included in New York City rock comics and New York City Outlaws. And Thor was also seen in Vicon, which was going to be a Broadway show version of Thor. And it's interesting too because Thor, when he was younger, was handpicked by Stan Lee to play Thor if they were going to make a movie, but they weren't making Marvel movies. And if he would have been around now, he would have probably replaced Chris Hemsley. Here's the bottom of each of the stomach muscles. And what I'm doing is I'm vaguely referring back to the drawing and then doing my regular style over it. Here's an oblique muscle, or oblique. And I'll put a lot more drawing in this, like I'll throw a shadow from the stomach muscle onto the next one. And we got the chest here, and we got his arm. So I'm gonna do is one of these Wally Wood things where you leave like light hitting up here, and then shadows falling onto the arm from the torso. And I'm using one of these brushes. This particular one is a STA. You can get these pretty easy on Amazon or eBay. And this is their brush. This has really good ink and it's not water soluble, so it goes down and it's not going to smear. And you can also fill this with India ink. I've done it several times. You just take the cap off up here and tap it this way and a sponge will come out. And dip the sponge in the India ink and you're set to go. This thing lasts for a long time till it wears out. I do a vein technique here. Oh, look at Thor's hair, his neck. Sort of shadow here from the neck. And it's funny because my album covers, I've done one for Manowar. I did the famous Hail to England album cover, and I don't do them like Frank Frazetta. Almost all the heavy metal type painters, they're influenced by Frazetta. I did it like a color living comic book. So my covers always stand out. They're not going to look like another Frazetta imitator, which is fine because personally I can't even do that style. I have to do the Ken Landgraf style. But usually when you see a heavy metal album, it looks like a Frank Frazetta school. And we got his trunks here. Just drawing folds. Or put a Y fold. See that letter Y shape or V? And work on his legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I don't remember this, but Thor was going to have originally a Thor type figure with angel wings on it. Like it was some kind of demon or something. And that got all changed around to this barbarian type guy in the background. And he also has a Thor hammer here. I'll draw his hair in a little bit. And besides me, another artist that drew Thor was Neil Adams. He was the first one actually that drew him. And Neil eventually, when I did Rock Comics, Neil did the cover with me. And he had that Thor comic strip laying around and said, "Would you like to publish this in Rock Comics?" Of course I did. When you do an outline, you go from point A to B. So it's smooth. Okay, so maybe I'll work on this guy a little. Let's see what he looks like. Oh, I got his nose. And it's funny because I didn't have any special effects, so what I did is I found a laser and I printed it out and I glued it down for his eyes here. Same thing with the girl. And then they superimposed the Thor logo and electric eyes over the drawing. That had nothing to do with me. That had to do with the designer of at the record company. On his helmet, he's got all this type of stuff, so making like light and shadow effects. And render a little bit on the hammer. And got this beautiful heavy metal girl. And I got Thor stepping on all these cool skulls. Work on his boot. I mean, inking the boot here, I'm paying attention that there's the knee area. And I'm like, see that curve there? I'm picking that up. See it along here? You repeat the forms. Again, here's a curve. Here's another curve and a straight line. And these brush pens are really nice. They're actually not brush pens. They're actually a brush here. You can see this. It's a brush. What I like is you don't have to fool with dipping them into the ink. Not that I do use the regular brushes a lot, brush pens, and I do dip them into India ink. But when I do a demonstration like this, it's sure easier than to constantly dip your brush. I do it like this. Outlining the boot here. Okay, so that's it for today on this. I'm going to continue working on this. So I got it done, but you can see here I got quite a bit of work done already. It's looking real good. Okay, Ken Landgraf signing off.